You're watching East Tennessee Weather, powered by Rusty Wallace Automotive Group.
Good morning, 7 o'clock right now. Today's live is sponsored by Jiffy Lube Multi-Care. Welcome to Jiffy Lube Knoxville, your one-stop destination for automotive care. With 9 convenient locations across the area, from Knoxville to Clinton and Maryville, they're here to keep your ride running smoothly. Whether it's a routine oil change or tire maintenance or even a comprehensive inspection, they have you covered. Trust them to provide reliable and efficient service for your car or truck today. Well, maybe not this morning. And the best part, their friendly staff is dedicated to getting you back on the road quickly so you can focus on what matters most, and that is your journey. Jiffy Lube Knoxville, keeping you on the move. Drive in today or soon and mention Witcher for a $20 discount on your next service. Visit them online, jiffylubeknoxville.com. And obviously, with the icy conditions, travel is not advised this morning. We've had multiple vehicle wrecks across East Tennessee last night and early this morning. We have a live look there from Hardin Valley, Tennessee here at this hour, and we had a lot of icing reports from there yesterday. And that's really going to be the story across all of East Tennessee throughout the day today, where temperatures in some locations are slightly above freezing this morning. But again, with all the snow on the ground, a lot of you are trapped in your neighborhoods. Insult to injury with the freezing rain last night. And believe it or not, a little bit of light snow is going to be falling around East Tennessee throughout the day today. So good morning. It is now 7:01. Glad you could join me on Wake Up with Witcher. Broadcast this every day, Monday through Friday at 7 o'clock, Saturday and Sunday at 8 o'clock. And who's ready to warm up? Anybody ready to actually start to see some spring weather, summer weather? Are we tired of the winter? I know a lot of you are, and I am as well. Tired of just staying inside the house. You can't really go anywhere. And if you do travel, it's tough. I've been out of my neighborhood about 3 times this week, and that is it. And so I know many of you are stuck at home. So please be safe. Check on your neighbors. This Arctic air is going to continue to spill in overnight tonight, and that is going to create some major issues again tomorrow morning. So we are far from out of the woods here, out of the storm system, but eventually we'll warm up next week. We'll talk about those weather headlines here in just a moment. I do want to take you outside and show you what it looks like on the T-Docs cameras. We do have some travelers out there this morning. That's a solid live look there at 75 in Calhan. No major interstate wrecks as of right now. I just looked just a moment ago, but again, you have to keep it slow on the roadways here this morning, because if you have to travel out and about, it is an absolute mess to get the day started. And again, we've got some incredible photos coming in from many of you here. This one was from Halls, and Heather Hart shared that on the Facebook page, my Facebook page. So just icy conditions. I mean, snow-packed, and then the freezing rain last night was insult to injury. How about freezing rain in Farragut? Brittany Williams shared this one. Frozen in time. The cars are frozen in time. Here's another one coming in from Lenore City. Mike Walker sharing this one with me. And you can just see just everything is covered in a sheet of ice here this morning, thanks to that freezing rain that moved in last night. And, well, nobody's going to be grilling in Seymour anytime soon. Mary Jo passed this one along. How about this, though? This is incredible. We still have a lot of snow on the ground. I mean, you don't need me to tell you that. You know that. But look at the extent of the snow coverage we still have on the ground. It is absolutely mind-blowing that this snow is stuck around this long. But insult to injury next week, as I mentioned, not only did see a lot of snow, we saw the freezing rain. Now Arctic air settles back in. And then next week, well, let's talk about those weather headlines, because next week a warm-up is on the way. We're going to be warmer. It's going to be nice. We'll be able to pull out the Bermuda shorts because it's going to feel great after this Arctic air. But that's also going to bring us a lot of rain. And I'm going to highlight that with the regional picture. And that could lead us to some localized flooding next week. So we go from Arctic air and a lot of snow to freezing rain and maybe some localized flooding. So a winter weather advisory through tonight. Light snow to move in throughout the day today. Not a ton of snow, but with the air so cold, well, it's going to stick to the ground. So that's just going to add to the problems. Wind chill advisory and a wind chill warning go into effect tonight. It's going to be cold through the weekend, but warmer weather does return next week. So everybody pretty much, except for the Southern Valley, is under a winter weather advisory. This runs until 7 o'clock tonight. The mountains, the Smoky Mountains, will have a winter weather advisory running through 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. So again, that northwesterly flow as the Arctic air comes racing on in, that's going to drop our temperatures, and that's going to wring out the atmosphere into some snow. So current temperatures right now, 28 degrees in Crossville, 36 in Knoxville. We have 37 in Chattanooga and 32 in Tri-Cities. So kind of a mixed bag of temperatures, but these will likely be our high temperatures for the day, just an FYI, because temperatures will come crashing on down throughout the afternoon. We'll highlight that in a moment. At 24-hour temperature change, we are actually anywhere from 10 to 27 degrees warmer this morning than what we were yesterday. But then we'll reverse that as we get into tomorrow morning and we talk wind chill values sub-zero once again. Wind chill values right now, 16 in Crossville, 26 in Tri-Cities, 31 is what it feels like. We do have a little bit of a breeze out there. Road temperatures, this is the benefit. If you happen to have travel plans down 75, well, the road temperatures are above freezing, so probably not any major issues there. But along Interstate 40 from Crossville through downtown and along Interstate 81 up towards the Tri-Cities, road temperatures are hovering right around freezing, if not a little bit below that. And so black ice is going to be a major problem this morning. If you don't have to travel, if you can't get out of your neighborhood, you're not traveling, obviously. But if you don't have to travel this morning, just wait. It's not even worth getting out on the roadways right now. It is just a nasty mess for sure. All right, so road conditions. We have a little bit of light snow that has been falling across parts of the Northern Valley along I-75. That's where we've had some accidents during the overnight hours or during the late evening hours anyways. And thanks to all of you who have shared all of your photos and all of your information on social media. I've been fielding that all yesterday evening and early this morning, and it is just mind-blowing what accidents we had last night. Really, folks just needed to be off the roads. And that is encouraged, again, from city officials, county officials, state officials as well. If you don't have to be out on the roads, please, please, please don't be there. Don't be on the roads. Got a little bit of light rain. I've had a couple of light rain showers. It's not freezing rain, a little light rain showers here at the East Tennessee Weather Center. Low-grade clouds. And so these are low-grade clouds because when I switch over to the visibility product, we don't have a lot of fog out there. Thank goodness for that. Although we do have some fog banked up against the Smoky Mountains. And you can see that from our Sevierville camera, which I'll highlight in a moment. All right, moving right along. Our temperature trend, again, as I mentioned, this morning is basically going to be our highs. We're not going to recover at all throughout the day today. Actually, temperatures will come tanking on down, and we'll start that process for you folks on the plateau. So it is going to get much colder, much faster on the plateau. That colder air will spill into the valley and eventually catch up to the mountains. But if you have evening plans here tonight, well, yeah, it's going to be cold. I believe the Globetrotters are playing tonight. I don't know if it's tonight or if it was last night. I think it's tonight. So something to keep in mind if you are going to be heading off to the Globetrotters here tonight at Thompson Bowling Arena. All right, looking ahead throughout the day today, here's our future cast. Again, the Arctic air is going to settle on in. Low-grade clouds are going to ring out some light rain showers for some, but as the colder air swings through, that's going to switch some of this over to some light snow showers. Better chance for light accumulating snow across the plateau, southern, southeastern Kentucky with this northwesterly flow. So this is a totally different snow event, if you will. Not necessarily a major event, but a snow event than what we saw on Monday due to the fact that it's a northwesterly flow, and so it's just going to ring out the atmosphere. And so you get the classic horseshoe, which I'll highlight those snowfall totals coming up here in just a moment. All right, so forecast wind chills later on this afternoon as the colder air comes on in, a little bit of a breeze, and that gives us wind chill values in the single digits and teens, so another raw winter day around East Tennessee. Bundle up, be safe, don't travel if you don't have to. Just know that as we get into Sunday, we'll start to see some improvements, but more improvements are expected next week, which we'll highlight with your 7-day temperature trend. All right, through the overnight hours, we're going to continue to ring out the atmosphere with some light snow showers across the mountains. That should be about the extent of it as the mountain counties as we start to lose this moisture source. But we get orographic lift across the mountains. That forces the air to rise. When you force the air to rise, you could cool it, you condense it, and you produce light snow showers if it's cold enough. All right, so forecast lows tonight, getting started on Saturday morning. We're going to be single digits and teens for air temperatures, but wind chill values will be sub-zero, anywhere from 0 to 15 to even 20 degrees below zero, especially across the mountains. And so the National Weather Service has once again, we saw this earlier in the week, has issued a wind chill advisory for the valley and all of East Tennessee, but the mountains are under a wind chill warning, and that's where we could see anywhere from 10 to 20 degrees below zero across the higher elevations. Through the day on Saturday, we'll start to see some hit-and-miss sunshine as we ring out the atmosphere. The atmosphere starts to clear on out. I don't think we'll see a ton of sunshine until afternoon, and probably even more so probably after about 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So at least we'll start to see a little bit of sunshine return to East Tennessee tomorrow, albeit bone-chilling. It's going to be incredibly cold. Forecast highs tomorrow will only be in the teens and 20s, but again, you factor in the wind chill, and we're talking single digits and teens all day tomorrow. So just another day to kind of hang out inside. Are we tired of watching movies? Are we tired of watching and binge watching all those shows? Maybe that's what you've been doing. Maybe you've been cooking soups. Hopefully you had a chance to get to the grocery store and make some soup. I've seen a lot of soup recipes that that many of you passed along. Thanks. I made soup and I posted that on social media. All right, so here's your futurecast snowfall accumulations. Again, the classic horseshoe, a few flurries. Anything that falls is going to stick to the ground. So now we have snow. We have some icing on top of that, and now we may get a light dusting of snow on top of that. And so even if you do get some snow accumulating snow, say on the plateau, southeastern Kentucky, northeast Tennessee, into the foothills, or even here in the valley as well, just know that that's going to be snow on top of ice, more likely than not. And so while you can have a little bit better traction in snow than obviously ice, there's going to be a thin layer of ice underneath that. And so again, it's going to be some tough travel. But again, could see 1 to 4 plus across the mountains. I think the highest peaks could see anywhere from, we may squeeze out 4 to 6 plus inches of snow across the highest peaks of the Smokies. It's not a major snow event, so I wouldn't concentrate on that. I really think that the Arctic air and the snow and the ice already have in place is going to be more of a problem than the snow. That's just insult to injury, really. So falling temperatures, breezy and cold today. We basically are sitting at our high temperatures. We won't warm up from here. We're actually going to cool down as we get into the afternoon and evening. Saturday, we are going to be starting off in the single digits and teens. We only warmed to 22, so another frozen day ahead of us tomorrow. Some afternoon sunshine could be working its way back in. Sunday, sunny skies and a little bit warmer. We're going to be hovering right around freezing, but at least we'll have some sunshine, which will take that sun's energy and help to start to thaw and melt things away. You need to melt the snow away before you can really warm up the air temperature. But that's going to change as we head into next week. Let me show you the big picture weather pattern. Here's our future cast. We pick up our timeline at 7 o'clock this morning. So if anybody has any travel plans, again, here's the story. More snow along the I-75 corridor. If you're traveling into Kentucky, the snow machine starts to wind down. Northwesterly flow continues, but cold high pressure from Canada builds its way back into the area. So when you look at our snowfall forecast, again, the classic horseshoe here, heavy snow across the northern Appalachians up into West Virginia. More lake effect snow is expected across the Great Lakes from Indiana into Michigan, not Illinois, but Ohio, Pennsylvania, and also New York. So more snow expected across there with that lake effect kicking in. So we have a strong northwesterly wind and flow to the atmosphere. So falling temperatures as this Arctic air continues to settle its way in through the day today and for the day tomorrow. So regional forecast wind chills this afternoon. Nashville will only be about 13, 9 in Lexington. The big goose egg over there in Indianapolis, and 5 below for a wind chill value in Kansas City. Those are afternoon wind chills. And then morning low wind chills tomorrow morning, just bone chilling, just raw across the entire region. Of course, the Arctic tundra up into the upper Midwest is much colder, but we are going to continue to stay incredibly cold here. And then for those of you just now tuning in, I know I'm on the regional picture. I'll recap all our local forecasts, then I'll come to the chat, say hi to everybody, and see how everyone's doing. Yeah. Are we tired? I posted on social media. Are you tired of being stuck in the house? That's the question for this morning. Answer it on social. If you're on social, if you're on Roku TV or Amazon Fire, you can jump on social media, whether it be YouTube, Mike Witcher TV Facebook page, or the East Tennessee Weather Facebook page, and add to the conversation. All right, so Saturday we're at 22, 31 degrees on Sunday, 40s on Monday. Okay, now we're above freezing. Now we start to get a little bit more melting. Now we're going to start to see a lot more puddles around the area. Still some refreezing, though, and I'll highlight that here in a moment during the overnight hours. So any melting and thawing that we have and any water that we have standing on the ground will refreeze as we get into our Saturday, Sunday, and Monday morning, which I'll highlight in a moment. But look at those high temperatures next week. Average high, mid to upper 40s. We're going to be in the mid to upper 50s Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then low 60s Thursday, Friday. Okay. Like I said, Bermuda shorts. I mean, after being so cold and snowy this week, 60 degrees is going to feel amazing. Oh, man. But 60 degrees also brings a threat for some heavy rain. All right, so low temperature Saturday, Sunday, Monday, single digits and teens. We don't get out of the 30s for lows until Wednesday morning. And then morning lows will be in the 40s and 50s Thursday and Friday. But as I mentioned, we do have rain, and a lot of it that is being forecasted right now. This is our 7-day rainfall forecast. So nothing around East Tennessee through Tuesday, but it's going to be Wednesday and Thursday timeframe of next week, where temperatures warm into the 50s and 60s, that the rain will move its way back in. So it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out with the amount of snow that we've got still on the ground. And as we get that melting and thawing to occur, does this rain to another situation? And that would be localized flooding. That is a possibility. And of course, we'll highlight that in the coming days. We just got to get through this Arctic air and this Arctic tundra and this weekend first. And then we'll start transitioning to a warm and snowy weather pattern. So for those of you just now tuning in, let's go back to the forecast here locally. Winter weather advisory continues until 7 o'clock here tonight. Travel is not advised this morning if you could even travel at all. Some of you can't even get out of the neighborhood. And, listen, East Tennessee is hilly. It's windy. That's why travel is being discouraged this morning from the city and county officials. All right, wind chill values, anywhere from 0 to 20 degrees below zero. Wind chill advisory and warning go into effect tonight, running through noon tomorrow for all of East Tennessee. We'll see falling temperatures throughout the day today, so it's going to be bone chilling as we get into the afternoon and evening. Wind chill values here this afternoon here locally will be in the single digits and teens. Overnight lows tonight for wind chill values will be down to 0 or below, pushing about 10 degrees below zero in Crossville. And the Smoky Mountains, obviously, even colder than that with wind chill values closer to 20 degrees below zero. Dangerous cold for sure. And then wind chill values Saturday afternoon, only in the single digits and teens, so we're not going to warm up. And a bit of hit and miss sunshine as we head through the day on Saturday afternoon. Your snowfall forecast, dusting to up to an inch across the plateau, so just aiding to the problems that we already have around town. Flurries to a light dusting. Can't be ruled out in the valley, but maybe just a few flurries as we bring out the atmosphere. And 1 to 4 plus inches of snow across the highest peaks of the Smokies. So 3-day forecast to recap that again. Today, 35 and falling. So we're not going to be above freezing all day long. We'll drop to below freezing as we get past the lunch hour. Saturday, we're only at 22, so another frozen day ahead of us on Saturday. We slowly warm on Sunday. Some of you may or may not be able to head off to church. If you're a churchgoer on Sunday morning, you might have to do the online services. And I know so many churches do online services thanks to COVID. But that is the story, my friends, this morning. Boy, what a week it has been around town. It has been a wintry mess. And we talked about that over a week ago, saying, okay, we see the Arctic air coming in, and we set the stage. And remember, over a week ago, I said, there is no way kids are going back to school this week. The only day I thought that they possibly could have gone to school if things played differently, and this was like over a week ago I said this, would have been yesterday. But that clearly wasn't the case because the snow has not gone anywhere, and so nobody can go anywhere. The buses can't get in and out of the neighborhood. So let's go over to the chat, say hi to everybody. Hey, by the way, if you've not subscribed to my YouTube channel, highly recommend doing that. I posted on social media all the links, and I have it right here with Wake Up with Witcher. If you don't have the East Tennessee Weather app, please download it and spread the word, please. Because here's the deal. I was out yesterday just for a little bit. I had to get out of the house. We've had a lot going on in our household this week, not just for weather, but some other personal stuff that we're dealing with. And I was like, well, I just need to get out of the house. So we went and visited a friend yesterday and at his business. And it was just, I don't even know where I was going with that. I just lost my train of thought. Oh, and somebody came up to me. I had 3 people come up to me yesterday and said, I thought you left town. Where have you been? Download the app. So there's so many people that don't even know where I've gone from local news. So if you can spread the word, that would be amazing. Just to help move everything along. The more we get on here, the better it's going to be for all of us because we'll have a lot more reports to pass along. But I do thank you so kindly for sticking with me and for all the reports. So good morning, everyone. Any word on the roads this morning, says McKenna. I mean, people are traveling. I'll go back while we talk about the chat. While I come to the chat, let's just go to the T-Dot cameras. Folks are traveling. Let me switch the view. That is 75 and Callahan Drive. And again, when I zoom out the picture, it doesn't seem to appear that we have any major road issues up the I-75 corridor northbound as you get from Caryville through Elk Valley. That is going to present you some issues. That's where we have colder air and some icier conditions, and so something to keep in mind. But here locally, we'll just go over to Morrell Road. So this is West Hills and Interstate 40. So folks are traveling and just wet roads right now because some temperatures are above freezing. But travel obviously is not advised if you don't have to. Hopefully I answered your question, McKenna. That's all I've got this morning. I haven't heard of anything major. That was a lot last night. Some of the major problems were last night. There are semi-trucks on the side of the roads along Interstate 75 north and south, I think. Mark Nagy from TDOT just tweeted that out. And so you're going to have to travel slowly. So they're going to try to clear those semi-trucks throughout the day today. All right, so Becky says she loves this cold, frosty morning. Hope everybody stays safe. I hope everybody stays safe as well. Anybody looking forward to next week? A lot of you have said, I'm ready for spring and summer. Buck's going on vacation soon. Buck always joins us on social media every morning. He's going to a warm environment for vacation next week. And we all said yesterday, hey, Buck, take us with you. Just throw me in your suitcase. It'd be all right, right? They will never know. That's not over 50 pounds, right? Whatever. All right, so Challenger Chris on YouTube says, crept out of the subdivision to get to work in Pigeon Forge. So, Challenger Chris, how were the roads going to Pigeon Forge? You were able to get out of the neighborhood, so how were the main roads? And how's the parkway? Edwin says, good morning, Mike. What a mess. It is an absolute mess up here, waiting on the upper temps. Yes, Sharon, we are all waiting, I think, on some warmer temperatures. It's nice to get some snow. We didn't get a lot last year, and so it's nice to get a little bit more. Susan says, good morning. Really glad Neil Denton told me about your YouTube Live. Yes, me too. And actually, I've been reaching out. Neil Denton and I have been in conversation. So we're going to try to partner together and do something here in the near future. So hopefully maybe as we get closer to spring, I'll get some Neil Denton on the channel. And we can do some gardening segments with Neil and just information. You know, he has so much information about our vegetation, gardening, trees, how to take care of things. He's amazing. So we're going to try to get him on East Tennessee Weather. So hopefully he'll join us. He's actually reached out to me, so I think he will. All right, let's see what else we got here this morning. Well, could you at least provide us with your soup recipe? Chrissy, it's in, if you go to Mike Witcher TV, just scroll through my Facebook page. On Mike Witcher TV, I have posted the recipe in there. It's that Toscana Zapata or something like that. It's like I think it's the Olive Garden copycat recipe. It's like Italian sausage and kale and so good, especially on a cold, snowy, wintry day. So Lee says, today, the Today Show just showed Western New York got over 5 feet of lake effect snow. Yeah, and that's crazy, Lee, because here's the deal with lake effect snow. It's in such a small bands, and so you go like 5-10 miles down the road, and they get literally they get nothing. And then you drive 5 to 10 miles the opposite direction, and you're just like in the middle of 5 feet of snow. Lake effect snow is just mind-blowing how it works. And it only happens when the lakes don't freeze over. The lakes don't freeze over every single year. Some years they have been completely frozen over, and if they do, that shuts down lake effect because there's no moisture left, right? But when the lakes aren't frozen over, you get that lake effect when you get the colder Arctic air to move over the slightly warmer waters. It just pulls that moisture out, cools it, and condenses it, and produces incredible amounts of snow. Let's see, Jill says, my husband drives a UPS coming in from a run this morning on 75 North, mile marker 83 at the split. All of a sudden, he went from rain to snow on the roads, got slick just for half a mile, and then it was gone. Crazy. Yeah, this weather is crazy, and the snow is going to start to pick up. So if you're not seeing snow right now, we are going to start to see some snow through the day. As this Arctic air comes on in, that's going to wring out the atmosphere. Jonathan Lanning says, Kingston has ice all on the roads. It is a mess. And that's why it's just really... If you don't have to travel's just really not advised this morning. The less we get out there, the more they can take care of the roads, the less the emergency crews have to come out and rescue us, because it is a possibility. Let's see. Good morning, Cassie. You're iced in at the University, UTC Medical Center. So UT Medical Center. Iced in at UT Medical Center. Your mom's in ICU. We're all saying a prayer for your mom, Cassie, so I apologize. I'm sorry that she's in the ICU, but glad that you're staying there with her. You're the second person, actually, to reach out to saying that their family's in the ICU. So, man, I am so sorry. Buck, you may not be going on vacation, pal, if we don't get rid of the snow and ice. You're not going to be able to make it to the airport. Let's see. Felicia says, think school will be in on Monday? Nope, I don't. Not with the Arctic air settling on Saturday. We don't even make it above freezing on Sunday. They're not going to be able to get in. The buses will not be able to get in and out of the neighborhoods. I don't think they're going to go back to school. Let's just take a bet on this one. For those of you that join me every morning, let's take a nice little bet on this one. Maybe the school districts are listening. Maybe they're not. I was supposed to have a school visit today. That's been canceled. I was supposed to go to Dandridge Elementary School and talk to the kids. And obviously, that's not happening. So we rescheduled for next Friday. So I'll be doing school visits next Friday. And I got a lot of cool school visits coming up to share with you. But if I were a betting man, I would say they'll probably go back to school Wednesday. They won't go back to school until next Wednesday. If I were to be a betting man, because let's see, Monday we get in the 40s, so Tuesday we'll finally start to get a lot more thawing. But the problem is we have so many trees here, so any shaded areas will probably not even be thawed out until Wednesday afternoon. That would be my bet. So I bet the kids are now going to have an extended year because they're going to probably have to go into the first part of summer. Because I think I believe if there's a teacher on here, somebody tell me, but I think we're pretty close to using all of our snow days. Last year, we didn't use a single one. We only had one sick day in some counties. This year, we're going to use all of our snow days. Nuts. Absolutely nuts. Brenda says, yes, she's tired of being stuck inside. Buck says, it's 82 degrees in South Florida. Get me out of here by Wednesday. Well, we can only hope, Buck. If not, maybe we'll just come help you out, bud. Maybe we will. I don't even know where you live. Maybe I won't. Mabel's tired of being stuck in. But thank God we have some good food and heat. Yeah, no doubt about that. Actually, our heat, we were checking in on it yesterday. I didn't think it was working. The house was like 65 degrees. My wife's like, what's going on? Somehow it had switched to like air conditioning, and I don't know how. Maybe my kids touched it. And so I got stuck at 65 degrees. We're like, it is freezing in here. But we had a nice fire in the fireplace last night, watched a movie, just chilled out before bedtime. It's nice to let the kids stay up a little bit. I feel like it's winter break. Got my kids having a sleepover this morning or last night. They're all on the couch. So I had to tiptoe out of the house so I don't wake them up. Mike says, hey, Mike, you ran out of milk and bread yet? Nope, I didn't even buy milk and bread. Well, I did just for grilled cheese sandwiches. But I've got soup for days, my friends. Soup for days. And actually, I think today we're going to make some grilled, not grilled, just grilled, but we're making, I do most of the cooking in the house. Not all of it. My wife does a great job of cooking, but somehow I just do a lot of the cooking. I'm going to do Greek burgers tonight. So if I do that, I'll post that on social media. I'll take a picture because the Greek burgers are amazing. If you like Greek food, you use chicken and all the Greek seasonings, and then you don't even need a bun. Just dip it in some tzatziki sauce with some vegetables. It's good. So I'll post that later on today on social media. Maybe just kind of get you guys, let's do some cooking, shall we? Maybe I'll do some live cooking later on today. Some of you have been asking, when am I going to do a live segment for cooking in my kitchen with Witcher, huh? I don't know. I don't have the nicest kitchen, so I don't think it's going to look great, but whatever. Judge, I guess. Doesn't matter, right? Brenda says a memorable week for sure. Yes, this is one's going down for in the books for sure. I think we're all going to remember the winter of 2024, and now the big thaw is coming our way next week. The big thaw of 2024 is coming our way next week, and maybe the big flood. That'd be awful. But as this moisture thaws out or melts, it's going to go in the creeks and the rivers, and that's going to present some issues next week. I do have the T-Dot cameras up on there. Let's switch back to the weather cameras, shall we? That's a live look there in Hardin Valley. We'll take a live look at a couple of cameras here around town. And let's see if we can get this up. So that's Hardin Valley. This is the... that's my neighborhood. So that's not Hardin Valley. Let me take off that title bar here. So that is my neighborhood. So that's a mess. And it's hard to get in and out of there. Go down to Fox Road Marina. And an icy overcast and a wintry day. Down in Maryville right now, that's a live look. Those overcast gray skies. You can see that fog banked up against the foothills, the mountains off in the distance, but a frozen tundra is with us this morning. And Sevierville, do travel safely in Sevierville. See if Challenger Chris replies if he's still on here to see what it looked like on his way to Pigeon Forge this morning. We'll leave that up there here at this hour. Well, no, then you can't see me on camera. Well, that's no fun. How about I come back on camera? How about I do this? This will be the way to do it. See, sometimes you just got to work things and move on the fly. So here we go. Now I'll pop up on camera. There I am. All right, so that's a live look at the in downtown Gatlinburg. All right, so let's see. Good morning. My son works at Forks of the River. So do you know or think he could drive out there after the sun comes up? Depends on where you live. I'm talking to Tiffany. I'm not quite sure where you live, Tiffany. Kind of depends on where you live. I mean, it's tough getting out of my neighborhood in and of itself. So if it's going to be tough to get out of your neighborhood, I think if you can get to the main roads, we'll be fine. But now we have a sheen of ice on top of the snow on the back roads. And so if you can get out of the road, out of your neighborhoods, I think you'll probably be a little bit better off. But if you don't have to travel, probably best to stay home for a little bit. So Challenger Chris says, I don't travel the Parkway. I come up Wares Valley. Okay, good to know. Wares Valley Road was treated. Still a few icy spots in the dips. All right, cool. Thanks, Challenger Chris. So I think that's going to probably answer your question. Who asked that? That would have been Tiffany. So Challenger Chris made it through Wares Valley into Pigeon Forge. And she said, icy spots. So maybe it's a little bit better off this morning since, like I said, road temperatures are above freezing in some locations. But not all locations. So the Plateau, Upper East Tennessee, definitely colder. But thanks, Challenger Chris, for the information. I appreciate that. Tiffany says, wait, we're getting snow again? What did I miss? Well, no, just a little flurries here in the valley. Flurries in the valley. The Plateau and the mountains will get some light snow. A dusting to an inch on the Plateau through the day today, and up to 1 to 4 across the highest peak, across the foothills and mountains as we kind of wring out the atmosphere. But it's not insult to injury, so I don't think it's going to present any more issues than we already have. But yeah, a little bit of light snow, just kind of wringing out the atmosphere, Tiffany, on the backside of the system. April says, good morning and stay safe. We will be glad when this weather is completely gone. But don't you think it's kind of nice a little bit every once in a while to get some good solid winter weather? We don't have it every year. I mean, listen, we blew past our average snowfall for the year just this week. Lisa says, that's where my niece teaches She's at Dandridge as well, so I'll be heading out there. I think I'm talking to the whole school, Lisa, I think. Like a lot of kids. Let's see. So Piney Haven Homestead, she says, my work had to shut down. She's on YouTube. My work had to shut down again today. Steaky Road and Corinth Road in Loudon are awful. So if you happen to know where those roads are and you travel, Piney Haven Homestead say they are awful. Vicky agrees with me. I don't think they're going to go back until Wednesday. Same with Jamie. I think that's probably a good bet. So Laura says after today we have 3. I think we have 3 left after today. So Laura says 3 left. So then that's Monday, Tuesday. So now we're down to 1. And that's Laura. That's Knox County Schools? I think that's Knox County Schools, right? Yeah, because you're right down the road. Let's see. I understand UT has closed again on Monday. No, they closed on Monday. Yeah, I know. UT closed on Monday. Do you happen to know what they're doing now? Anybody know what the University of Tennessee's doing? Are they open? I know they closed on Monday, but they open back up. That has never happened. When I was a student, actually, I think it's very, very rare that UT shuts down. Let's see. Teresa says, when will it be accumulating snow? I live in Sevierville. Going to try and make it to work. Want to be able to get home if I can. You'll be able to make it home. I don't. It's not a big snow event. Sevierville, probably not going to get a ton. Pigeon Forge, maybe a little bit. Gatlinburg, maybe a little bit more. But it's really going to be a little bit higher than that. Like Cades Cove, highest peaks of the Smokies. Doesn't mean you won't get it. Anything that does fall will stick to the ground. Elise says, finally got out yesterday. Drove wife to work today, but today she is working from home. Of course, the golf course is closed. Yes, the golf courses are closed. Do you do anything to prepare the golf courses, Lee, for the greens? Because I'm friends with Greg. And I didn't realize that you actually cover the greens when it gets super cold. So are the greens covered? Because I didn't realize. I mean, I know that grass is pretty fragile, but I didn't realize they covered greens. That's a lot of work. Especially if it's 18 holes. Cindy's going to stay home in her safe zone. Yeah, probably a good place to be. Vicky says, yeah, it's the kids deserve a little time off mentally. I agree, but, then we need some time off as parents as well, don't you think? They've been home all week. But my 8-year-old has been playing, and the kids have actually been really, really good, so Let's see. Tim says, yeah, I do most of the cooking as well, so keep helping us out, buddy. I will. I'll keep posting those on the Mike What's Your TV page. I won't put anything on the East Tennessee weather page. That's all weather. I don't put my shenanigans on there. So East Tennessee weather on the Facebook page, by the way, is all weather, only weather. You get watches and warnings on there, by the way, as well. So something to keep in mind. Ooh, Allison Pruitt says, how does this mess compare to 1993? Good question. I'd have to go back and look, really, to be honest with you. I mean, we saw a lot more snow. I mean, not a ton more in the valley, but a lot more in the mountains. Obviously, the mountains didn't get any snow this time around. But I'll have to check in on that. I'm not quite 100% sure. But it's pretty close with the snow as long as it stayed around. But I think the roads were a lot worse for a lot longer in 1993. But again, did we have the infrastructure to clear it out back then? I mean, we did, but did we have what we have today, right? Has TDOT gotten more trucks? Have they gotten more brine or salt or what have you? I mean, are they able to keep the roads a little bit better than they were in 93? I mean, you've got to realize that was what, 30, oh, jeez. That was like 30 years ago? Thanks for making me feel old there. I appreciate that. Yeah, everything's going to be muddy and ugly as we get into next week and everything starts to melt away. It's going to be gross for sure. Keep getting mixed reports. Any info on road need to travel from Maynardville to Knoxville. All right. Let's go back to that here for a second. And that's what we do here on East Tennessee Weather, by the way. You get the information that you need, and then you can move on about your day. If you want to stay along for the chat and have a conversation, let's take a look at the roads once again. So the interstates seem to be doing just fine. We have had a little bit of a breeze, so you can even see some of the side streets there at West Hills and 40 that they are a little bit on the drier side. So let's come back out. You said Maynardville. So obviously I don't have cameras in Maynardville. From Maynardville, looks like the roads are fine. So it looks like smooth traveling down. Of course you're gonna have some icy spots, but it's all green. Let's see. I can throw some other features here. Road conditions. So there's your road conditions. So doesn't seem to appear that we have any major issues with road conditions there. But when you look at other locations from Campbell County to Scott, the Cumberland Plateau, even down into Roane and Loudoun County and Monroe County, we've got some reports of some snow. So let's see. Patches of ice and snow. So motorists use caution. So the area shaded, you're going to have a little bit more of an issue. I think where we don't have the major issues is where temperatures have warmed up just a little bit more. But something to keep in mind. So that's really been the story here this morning. We'll go back to the camera. We'll highlight a couple more cameras around town. We'll go back to Hardin Valley and see what Hardin Valley looks like if you happen to travel Hardin Valley Road. Get that camera to load. So it looks like the roads are probably fine. It's snow-packed, icy in spots, but hopefully I answered your question. Samuel says, Mike, it looks like it's not going to be safe going to work tomorrow morning. Probably not. Not with the Arctic air settling back in. So any sort of melting or thawing or water standing tonight will be black ice again tomorrow morning. Challenger Chris says, I agree with you, buddy. Just drive with common sense. That's all. Just use some common sense. Don't drive too fast if you have to get down the roads. The main road off our neighborhood in Roane County hasn't been plowed or treated. Actually, to be honest with you, because I remember I told you I got out of the house yesterday. I did go to Hardin Valley Road, I was on that road right there. And yeah, I was like, has anything been done to this road? Didn't even seem like it had even been plowed or anything. So I think there are many roads around town that look like they've not even been plowed. Of course, the TDOT and the city crews and the county crews have been doing everything they can. So no judgment there by any stretch. That is a tough job. They've been working tirelessly day in and day out to try to help mitigate the problem. Of course, they're going to stay on the major interstates first and the major highways first before they get to any sort of secondaries. But hopefully they can get to some of these secondary roads. Andy says, so it's supposed to get colder as the day goes on? It is. Basically from now through probably 10 to noon, we're going to stay pretty much right where we are currently. And that's in the low to mid 30s for some of us, 20 to the low to mid 30s. But temperatures come falling on down. And so this afternoon we'll drop into the 20s. This evening we'll drop into the teens. And we're talking single digits overnight tonight. That's that Arctic air that's going to come back in. Susan said our road is snow covered again in Granger County by Cherokee Lake. There we go. That's the story. And so with some ice that fell last night, if you got freezing rain, which I think you did because it was a lot of that icing was occurring basically along and north of Interstate 40 is where we got more ice reports from yesterday. And so if you're in Granger County or anywhere and you're starting to get a little bit of light coating of snow back on top of it, just realize there is likely ice underneath that. Let's see. Vicky says, I think it's just a good idea that everyone just slow it down and take a break. And they have been. I mean, trying to get out yesterday, folks were just crawling. In some places that I didn't necessarily think that they needed to be crawling, but it's better to be safe than sorry. Don't you think? That's my motto anyways. And I'm an Eagle Scout, just an FYI. So you got to always be prepared, right? Always be prepared. That's the motto. So if you are going to be traveling out about, just pack extra stuff. Don't get in your car and travel without like winter coats and hats and gloves and boots if you can and extra blankets just in case, right? Just in case. That's what I told my kids yesterday. I was like, listen, just in case, what were to happen if we were to break down or God forbid get in a car accident and you're stuck on the side of the road and now you're hurt and you need blanket, just things can happen in life. And so it's always better to be prepared. Good morning, DB. Joining us from Monroe County this morning. That's my friend Dan Black down in Madisonville. How's everything in Madisonville? Above freezing, rain, no snow, icy? Let us know. Janet Stone says UT is closed and has called closure for Monday. This is like unprecedented. This is crazy. UT never does that. So Felicia says government offices in UT is closed again today. So thanks for all these reports. I cannot possibly find all the information by myself. So I do rely on you a lot. And that's why we do this chat, so people can find out what's going on. Yeah, Vicky, thanks. I'm just trying to catch up on chat here. Slipping and sliding out of the neighborhood. So Monroe County is icy this morning. So Monroe County, heads up, icy, snow-packed. Do travel safely if you got to travel in Monroe County and really just all over town. Trying to get back to Knoxville from Nashville. Am I stuck, says Jane. Jane Doe, is there any better time to be on the road? I think if you're coming back to Knoxville from Nashville, let's see. Let me look all the way back to Nashville. I think you'll be fine. I mean, you may run into some light snow up across the mountains. I would just drive safe, drive slow, use some caution. But the main roads are improving, are better because they've been treating them, they've been taking care of them. Now, it's a different story if you've been in Nashville to know what your neighborhood looks like, but check in with your neighbors and see. So, Jane, do travel safely, traveling back and forth from Knoxville to Nashville. Let's see. Oh, remember I asked the question about the golf courses? Lee says, I said a lot of golf courses will cover their greens. He goes, that's for Bermuda grass. But they don't have that. They have bent grass, so you don't need to cover it. That's cool. I don't know the difference, but I guess it's probably a little bit more hardier. Thank you, Tammy. I appreciate you. Pauline says the wind is blowing in Morristown. Yeah, and that's it. Because this Arctic air comes in, the wind picks up. It's going to be breezy. Temperatures come crashing on down. Wind chill value single digits and teens all day today. Colder tomorrow morning. Dan Black says homemade chocolate chip cookies for breakfast on this icy morning, huh? Are you dipping it in milk there, Dan? Do you dip your chocolate chip cookies in milk? So Scotty Key says it seems it's turning to slush over here at the new Smoky Stadium. So he's been working on that project out there, which, by the way, if you've not driven past the stadium lately, like the infrastructure is starting to look like a stadium. It's cool. I just drove by it the other day to go see Mark Nelson Denham because I was over there. If you didn't see that on my social media, I'm emceeing the Heart Ball. That's coming up February 3rd. I'm emceeing it with Beth Haynes. And so I reached out to Mark Nelson Denham and I said, hey, man, I need a tuxedo. And so I'm getting a custom tuxedo from Mark Nelson Denham. And then we're going to be partnering together. So he's going to give me a bunch of clothes. I got golf clothes. He's going to help dress me out. So you're going to start to see some Mark Nelson posts showing up here real soon. I have not been able to go back and get my tuxedo. He said it was going to be ready on Tuesday. It's Friday, but ain't nobody got time to get out there and travel. I've been broadcasting all week long. But if you've not heard of Mark Nelson Denim, check him out. It is amazing custom clothes right here in our backyard. It's right next to the Smoky Stadium, by the way. It's just near off of, what's that road? Yeah, near downtown. In downtown, basically. So Doris says, 1993, everybody lost power for a week, so it was much worse. Yeah, that's what I thought. We haven't really lost a lot of power this week. So Challenger Chris says on his way through Wares Valley and whatnot, had a little bit more slushy rain than anything else. 27 inches in the blizzard of 1993. In some parts, yeah. Scotty Key says, how cold is it getting tonight? Single digits and teens, wind chill values below 0. Be cold, Scotty. So Felicia said, yeah, 15 inches in 24 hours in 93. We had no power for almost 2 weeks in South Knoxville. So we're going to have snow showers all day, says Julie. The radar looks like wraparound today. It is. We're going to see some wraparound moisture here throughout the day today. Let me throw on some, let me go back to the maps here, and I'll show you my snowfall totals. Now, it's not going to be anything major, and we've already seen major, right? But here's what it looks like for snowfall totals. Then we'll recap again. A lot of you have been joining me and sticking around all morning long, so I do appreciate you. I think flurries here in the valley as we just kind of wring out the atmosphere, maybe even a little bit more as we get into the afternoon, or just flurries anyways in the valley due to the fact that that cold air is going to come through and just like a sponge. You hear me talk about that all the time. You know, if you have a damp sponge and you've kind of wrung it out and you thought you got all the moisture out, but then you really get somebody stronger to wring it for you and you wring out a couple more drops, that's what Arctic air does. And so it's just going to wring out the atmosphere. Dusting to 1 inch across the central northern plateau. Southern plateau, probably maybe just a dusting. Upper East Tennessee, Tri-Cities area, Washington County, Greene County, Cocke, and Sevier County, Blount County. The foothills, probably 1 to 2, maybe. And then higher elevations, we'll see 2+, maybe 4+ across the highest peaks of the Smokies. So we got a lot going on, don't we? I mean, what a crazy. I'm tired. I know probably some of you are tired as well. And hats off to all the crews that are out there working tirelessly. Again, I cannot say it enough. Trash day was supposed to be today for us. Obviously, you've probably gotten the emails and text messages and phone calls from the trash services saying, yeah, that ain't happening. We can't get in and out of the neighborhoods to get rid of the trash. So it's going to be interesting. It's all going to be piling up next week. Mine already is. Let's see. Have to get to Cedar Bluff from Lenore City for work. Anyone know how the roads are in that area? I think you'll be fine, Garrett. Back roads are going to be the worst, but you get on the main roads. And Cedar Bluff, I know because I live there near Cedar Bluff. You're going to be fine. I don't think it's going to be anything bad. Plus, temperatures have kind of warmed to above freezing. Let me go back to those current temperatures around town. So we can get an idea of who's at or above or below freezing. There we go. So there are your current temperatures. So Knoxville's 34, Maryville's 34. So Alcoa Highway is likely going to be less ice, more wet roads or slush. As you climb up Interstate 81, as you get closer to Tri-Cities. Now, Tri-Cities is at 34. When you look at road temperatures, let's look at road temperatures because that's bigger of a deal than air temperatures. So we're hovering right around freezing, if not slightly above, along 81 through central Knox County and down 75. So those roads will be fine. Traveling the roads, of course, you're going to have icy spots and snow-packed roads in some spots, but ground temperatures are warmer. Where we're going to have the trouble spots is along Highway 27, 127 from Crossville to Jamestown and Scott County all the way through Rockwood. A better chance for icing and maybe some black ice and freezing roads this morning. And along Interstate 75 north of town into Kentucky from basically north of downtown Knoxville through Campbell County. That's where we're going to see some icier roads thanks to the road conditions or road temperatures anyways being below freezing. And up towards Rogersville, so 25E, 11E, 25W, through Granger County, Rutledge Pike, probably going to see a little bit more icy conditions. So those are the roads that are going to see a little bit more. I'll leave this up for a little bit. Let's talk. Well, I'll just put the weather headlines on there, so some folks can see the weather headlines if you're just now tuning in. Lita says our neighborhood off of Lovell Road completely covered with ice, so no traveling there. And that's the thing; it's going to be hit and miss. I didn't get a ton of freezing rain here at the house. I got a little bit on my outdoor lights. I haven't ventured out to the roads, but I mean it's slick. Yesterday was slick. Now you got that like black ice. I heard people call it white ice. I've never heard of white ice before. I'm from Colorado. Never heard of white ice, but it's the snowpack and people driving on it. And now you've just got a sheen of ice. Loudon is icy, and my son works for the city, and they are doing the best they can. So hats off to your son and all the crew in Loudon County and all the counties around town. Have plans to attend a concert tonight? Will it be safe to do so? A, Garrett, what concert are you going to? And B, I think you'll just need to check back in later on this evening. Go to the T-Dot cameras, check and see how the roads are. If I need to, I'll come back in and do a live broadcast, but I probably won't. The wind has just started to pick up in Pigeon Forge. That's what's going to lead to the wind chills. Ugh, awful. Just like bone chilling. It cuts right through you. Time for a nice fire in the fireplace this morning. Hang out, have some breakfast. If you don't have to go anywhere. My trash pickup was Monday, and it's still here, says Vicky. Any word on Pellissippi Parkway? I'm assuming, is that I-40, Dan? Oh, I-40 coming out of Asheville toward Knoxville. It doesn't seem to appear on the T-Dot cameras and the road conditions there, Dan. It doesn't seem to appear to be any issues. The freezing rain was a little bit more like along parallel north of Interstate 40 is who got the majority of it. Some of us got some drizzle, freezing drizzle, and now maybe even some freezing mist in some places. What's the best time to go from Gatlinburg to Knoxville today? Anytime? Just kidding. Let's see. Eleanor says best time to go from Gatlinburg to Knoxville. Are you going the back way? Challenger Chris made it to Wares Valley and Pigeon Forge through Wares Valley, so he said it was fine, just slushy and icy in spots. So probably going to be fine. I think you'll be fine. So any time of the day, Eleanor, maybe even before the Arctic air settles in, so maybe before this evening would be the best time. April says, thanks for keeping us up to date. I'm sure it's been a whirlwind week for you. It has. Take a nap today. I plan on it. So Melissa says, just got on. How is Interstate 75 in Campbell County? Terrible. Terrible. Not good. They had they've got black ice. We've had semi trucks on the interstate. I've had reports of it not being good. Folks are traveling in it, but I don't think it's very good at all. So Cameron says, normally a big fan of snow and winter weather, but, well, we sure miss our water. Our pipes froze Tuesday night. Cameron, did they freeze to the point that they bust? Or you won't even know that until they unfreeze, and now you've got water everywhere. If that's the case, one of my sponsors this week has been Mold Doctors USA. So if that's the case, give Mold Doctors USA a call at 865-945-3000 or visit them online at molddoctorsusa.com. They are going to be my sponsor through the weekend as well. So I'll just go ahead and highlight them this morning. So if you have frozen pipes, once the pipes unfreeze, if you run into issues, call Mold Doctor USA. Tell them Witcher sent you, by the way. All right, let's see. Missed getting the mail. Yeah, I haven't checked my mail all week long because no mail service. Isn't it crazy the things that we take for granted on a day-to-day basis? Although, what's your mail filled with? Right? Junk mail? Bills? We don't want that anyways, Laura. Are you expecting some money in the mail? Because if you are, I may come find your mailbox. Just saying. All right. I think I've answered all the questions here this morning. So I'll recap the weather one more time. We'll send you back to the 24-hour weather channel to highlight some of our sponsors here this morning. And I wouldn't be here without Mike Stevens Homes and Rusty Wallace Automotive Group and all the sponsors in the bottom left-hand side of the screen that you've been seeing scroll through all of my Wake Up with Witchers. And they're available on the website as well. If you're looking for any sort of sponsorship, hit me up, mike@eastnweather.com. I'm going to go back to Halls and show you some cameras, or not some cameras, but some pictures that have been sent in of the freezing rain. Brittany Williams, from Heather Hart to Brittany Williams, Halls to Farragut, Lenore City, Mike Walker. His red truck is iced over. And Seymour is iced over this morning as well. Nobody's grilling on the grill here this morning, or maybe this afternoon. Unless you want to melt the ice, I suppose you could just fire it up. Look at all the snow cover that we still have on the ground. It is mind-blowing to me to still see furniture and back decks and tables and whatnot with 4 to 6, 7 inches still hasn't gone anywhere. This is snowpack still on the ground. This is the problem that I was talking about for next week, because with 1 to 3 inches of rainfall possible next week and a rapid thaw as temperatures start to come on up, flooding is going to be a concern. And so we're going to be highlighting that next week. I'm not calling it out there yet, but if we get 1 to 3 inches, we'll see how this plays out. But next Wednesday, Thursday. And remember, I said the kids probably won't go back to school until next Wednesday because we won't have the melting to occur to get in the back neighborhoods. And then now here comes a lot of rain. And I think with the saturated ground, the amount of moisture that we've had with the snow, we could lead to some localized flooding. So there are your weather headlines. Winter weather advisory continues till 7 o'clock here tonight. Temperatures here this morning are now in the 20s and 30s. Some of us are above freezing. Some of us are not. But doesn't matter because, this is nice. 24-hour temperature change. We're 25 degrees warmer than what we were yesterday, but not cold and not warm. Not one single bit. Wind chill values right now, 26 in Knoxville, 15 Crossville, 29 Chattanooga, 24 Tri-Cities, and 25 in Sweetwater for wind chill values this morning. So the wind's going to start to pick up. When you look at road temperatures, I think south of Knox County, we have warmer road temperatures at or slightly above freezing. So that will actually present some more wet roads or slushy roads. Of course, can't rule out black ice. I got that going. But I think if you're north of Interstate 40, you have a better chance of seeing very icy roads here. That's been showing up on our road conditions here. Let me go back to that. That's been showing up on the road conditions all morning long. And so snowy, icy, and with some light snow falling across town as well. So send your snow reports through the East Tennessee Weather app or online. It's on social media. A little bit of flurry activity, not really showing up a whole lot on the satellite and radar so far, but as this piece of energy starts to slide our way, I think we'll increase our chances for some light snow throughout the day. Low-grade clouds, but not a lot of fog. Thank goodness for that. A little bit of fog up near Tri-Cities, and that's about the extent of it. Temperatures will come crashing on down throughout the day today. That's the story. It is going to be bone-chilling later on this evening, and then Arctic air settles in overnight tonight. Reinforced shot of Arctic air. A little bit of light snow here or there. I can show you a future cast all day. It's not too terribly impressive, but let me show you wind chill values as we get into our afternoon. Wind chill values will be right there into the single digits and teens all day today. Overnight tonight, wind chill values drop down into the sub-zero category. And so we have wind chill advisories and wind chill warnings for the mountains, wind chill advisories for the valley locations. And we've had that highlight that snowfall forecast, but I'll show it to you once again. Here's your snowfall forecast. Dusting up to about an inch across the plateau, 1 to 4 plus across the mountains. Not expecting any major snowstorm, but we are looking at warmer temperatures to head our way next week, where temperatures will climb into the 50s and 60s. That's going to be nice. I want to see your shorts and short sleeve shirt pictures next week because it's all relative, right? But morning lows next week will drop down through the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. We're going to be seeing single digits and teens, and then those morning lows come up into the 30s and 40s. And until that process happens, we're not going to see the snow really go anywhere quickly. And then, as I mentioned, we're talking the possibility of 1 to 2 plus maybe 3 inches of rainfall next week. That's going to be insult to injury when it comes to the potential for some localized flooding. Again, we're far away from that, so I'll keep you posted on that. If you've not downloaded the East Tennessee Weather app, great tool right there at your fingertips. Go to the Google Play Store, the App Store, download the East Tennessee Weather app today. Help support this local business and me. If you like me, maybe you should just download it. But you can track in some flurries, temperatures, and all the weather all the time. Plus, keep on those push notifications. So anytime I send out a push notification letting you know I'm going live, letting you know that winter storms are moving in, you will get those notifications right there from the East Tennessee Weather app. All right, I'm about to wrap things up here. It is almost 8 o'clock on this good old finally Friday morning. Time to get some soup and sandwiches this afternoon, or just maybe hunker down and stay home for a little bit longer. Do you have any projects that you're trying to work on inside? I've got a project I'm working on. I've talked to you guys about that for a while, but I need to do some more painting. And, well, that obviously is not going to be happening. No painting anytime soon. I do appreciate everybody joining me this morning every single day. Wake Up with Witcher will begin tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. I sleep in a little bit on Saturday and Sunday. A whole whopping hour. and then returns next week, Monday through Friday, starting at 7 o'clock. Join me on social media. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Don't forget, I'm on Roku TV, Amazon Fire. I'm on YouTube. I have a website, easttnweather.com. I have an app, EastTN Weather. When I broadcast live, I'm not just on all those platforms, but I'm also right here on Facebook, the Mike Witcher TV Facebook page, the East Tennessee Weather Facebook page. I'm growing that one as well, so make sure you go and like that page as well. It's only weather and all weather and only weather on the East Tennessee Weather Facebook page. And I also broadcast on Twitter. And I've noticed that a lot of folks, or X, a lot of folks have been joining me on that platform as well. All right, we're going to send you back to the 24-hour weather channel. Got a couple of sponsors that I want to highlight. I'll come back in. I'll leave the channel up for about 10 minutes or so, and then I'll shut it down. You can always check out EastTN Weather. The 24-hour live stream is running 24 hours a day. Website, app, and also on YouTube, Roku, and Amazon Fire. No matter where you get your weather information from East Tennessee Weather, all the platforms are exactly the same, and I hope you join me in the days, months, and years to come. All right, we're going to send you back to the 24-hour channel. Have a great day, everybody. Happy Friday. We'll see you over the weekend.
Hey friends, it's Cougar from Rusty Wallace Nissan on Clinton Highway. It's 2024 and I want you to save like never before. How about $5,000 off new Nissans? That's right, $5,000 off MSRP on brand new Nissans. How about our no charge 200,000 mile warranty on every new Nissan? You know that's going to be your gift from me. And what about huge trade allowances for your trade? Up and over $7,000 over book value for your trade. So come on over to Clinton Highway or shop in those New Year's socks at RustyWallaceNissan.com.
You're watching East Tennessee Weather, powered by Rusty Wallace Automotive Group.
What a week it's been around East Tennessee with the snow that we saw earlier, the Arctic air, the freezing rain last night, and now the reinforced shot of Arctic air and even more light snow showers. There is a silver lining. The big thaw of 2024 heads our way as we head into next week. It's going to be chilly this weekend, but let's break it down in all the weather details for you. Winter weather advisory all the way through 7 o'clock tonight for all of East Tennessee. So tough travel conditions this morning, and that's going to be the case. And that's really been the case all week long. Falling temperatures as we get into the afternoon as that Arctic air comes racing on in, and that's going to wring out the atmosphere with some light snow showers. So really insult to injury with this whole storm system. But again, it's going to slowly wind down as we get into the latter part of the weekend and more so next week. So don't be surprised with some light snow. Anything that falls with the cold air in place is going to stick to the ground. That just kind of creates more problems from what we already are dealing with. Friday afternoon, wind chill values are going to be in the single digits and teens. As that Arctic air comes in, we're going to continue to see a northwesterly flow take shape, and that's going to wring out the atmosphere with more snow showers across the mountains and dangerously cold morning lows. While air temperatures will be in the single digits and teens, wind chill values will be sub-zero. Again, anywhere from 0 to minus 20 for wind chill values early Saturday morning. And that's why the National Weather Service has issued a wind chill advisory for much of East Tennessee. The mountains have a wind chill warning. Again, 0 to 15 to 20 degrees below zero to get started Saturday morning. By the way, that runs until noon Saturday. And then it looks like some sunshine will start to work our way. I'll finish the Futurecast, talk about the rest of your 3-day forecast. That's coming up in just 5 minutes. All right, so just to recap, remember, winter weather advisory throughout the day today, wind chill advisory and wind chill warnings for East Tennessee overnight tonight and running through noon on our Saturday. Sub-zero wind chill values for all of us around town. And as this cold air continues to swing on through, we're still going to hang on to some light snow showers as we wring out the atmosphere across the higher elevations. We may see a little bit of hit-miss sunshine by the end of the day on Saturday. More sunshine is anticipated throughout the day on into our Sunday. But forecast high temperatures Saturday, again, single digits and, teens and 20s, but wind chill values will continue to stay in the single digits and teens. So cold Saturday for sure. Saturday afternoon, only 4 degrees for an afternoon wind chill value in Crossville, 12 in Knoxville. So you get the point. It's going to be dangerously cold. As I mentioned, we're going to wring out the atmosphere with some light snow showers. Now, I don't expect it to cause any major travel concerns from what we're already dealing with the freezing rain and the snow that we've had this week. Just kind of insult to injury, but how much could we see? I think anywhere from a dusting to an inch of snowfall across the plateau. Northwest facing slopes, maybe just a little bit more than that. Few flurries in the valley, but again, anything that falls is just going to stick to the ground. And then 1 to 4 plus across the Smoky Mountains. The highest peaks could see about, so I'd say 3 to 6 plus across the highest peaks of the Smokies. So yeah, a little bit of snow is going to be wrung out of the atmosphere. So falling temperatures and breezy and cold today. Our high officially will be like 35, but we'll drop into the 20s this afternoon. 22 degrees, another frozen day ahead of us tomorrow. And then a gradual warming trend on into our Sunday. At least we'll have some sunshine returning to East Tennessee. Like I said, the big thaw continues as we head into next week. I'll highlight that with your 7-day temperature trend and the big picture weather pattern in just a moment. What a wintry mess it's been around East Tennessee. Let's go ahead and recap those weather headlines because that mess continues with some light snow today. Winter weather advisory, wind chill warnings and advisories in place across town for the upcoming night tonight. And then a warming trend works our way. How warm do we get? Details coming up in just a moment. There goes our storm system. Wrap around cold air and moisture is going to help to produce some light snow showers, and that's also going to bring us the cold Arctic air that's set to arrive throughout the day today and overnight tonight as cold Canadian high pressure begins to build its way back into the area. That's going to help to clear the skies a little bit, especially as we get into our Saturday afternoon and even more so on Sunday. But that classic horseshoe, a little bit of light snow, northwest facing slopes get the majority of the snowfall. And we could see a light dusting up to an inch across the plateau and a little bit more across the mountains of East Tennessee. But that reinforced shot, falling temperatures throughout the day today as that colder air comes racing on in. Afternoon wind chills across the region. If you have travel plans, travel's tough for sure, but if you do have travel plans, wind chill values will be cold. Morning wind chill values Saturday, sub-zero across much of our region. We don't warm up much on Saturday afternoon. Saturday afternoon wind chill values will be in the single digits and teens. But as I mentioned, there is a warming trend on the way. How about this? By Monday, we're back to the 40s. Got that going for us. Average temperatures on Tuesday and then above average temperatures. Somebody pull out the Bermuda shorts. We're talking highs in the 60s next Thursday and Friday. But with that said, got another storm system that's going to bring us some decent rain. That's going to be insult to injury because flooding is going to be a concern as we get into the middle and latter part of next week. Low temperatures, though, through the weekend and the start of the work week will be in the single digits and teens. Then those lows climb into the 30s, 40s, and 50s. At that point, we'll be like, well, Arctic air? What Arctic air? But remember, I said a lot of rain is on the way next week. As we get into our Wednesday, Thursday time frame, we could see anywhere from 1, 2, maybe pockets of 3 inches around East Tennessee. With the amount of snow that we've had on the ground and the melting and the thawing that's going to occur, this could lead to some flooding issues. So definitely subject to change. Make sure you check back in as we get into next week. And of course, each and every day right here on East Tennessee Weather. All right, so we have a winter weather advisory that's continuing across East Tennessee. That runs all the way through 7 o'clock tonight, a little bit later for the mountains of East Tennessee through tomorrow morning. As we get that northwesterly flow and more snow to pile up across the mountains than anywhere else. And we're not talking about a major snow event, but this is just, as I've mentioned earlier, insult to injury, right? Wind chill values anywhere from 0 to 20 below zero overnight tonight and through the day on Saturday, at least through about the late morning hours. This runs until noon. Throughout the day today, our temperatures will continue to fall pretty quickly. That's that Arctic air that's going to be reinforced and move its way back in. So afternoon wind chills here around East Tennessee are going to be in the single digits and teens. It's going to be incredibly cold. Sub-zero wind chill values as we get started on Saturday morning and Saturday afternoon. Not much of a warm-up. It's going to stay chilly with highs in the 20s, teens and 20s, wind chill values in the single digits and teens Saturday afternoon. We are looking at some decent snow across the highest peaks of the Smokies, 1 to 4 plus. Flurries here in the valley, dusting to 1 inch across the plateau. But again, anything that falls out of the sky is going to stick to the ground. So do travel safely. Travel's not advised as we get the day started. Hopefully we'll start to see some improvements throughout the day. But I think as we get into, well, Sunday, we'll see more sunshine. And then next week, like I said, the big thaw of 2024 returns, or moves in, I should say, with temperatures in the 40s, 50s, and yes, maybe even some 60s. What a week it's been, my friends. We sure hope you've had a wonderful and safe week. Thanks for checking out your local forecast right here on East Tennessee Weather. Don't forget to download the East Tennessee Weather app on the Google Play Store, the App Store, or Roku TV, Amazon Fire. And join me every morning, Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. with Wake Up with Witcher, and Saturday and Sunday at 8 a.m. I'll see you soon.